Alright, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today I want to do our Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update weekend edition. So far, it's been a pretty decent weekend for Bitcoin, so are we on the way back up, or are we getting fooled? I want to go through the charts and let you know what I think. And of course, only time will tell what the real answer is, but let me show you what I'm looking at. We talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so if that is content that you're interested in, or if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, I really appreciate it. It really does help out the channel and the video get to a lot more people. I just want to refresh everybody's memory where we ended on Friday at the end of the day. So if you look at the big board, you're going to see all red. Friday was a very down day. Friday there was a giant red candle and all the Bitcoin miners were down quite a bit. Almost all of the Bitcoin miners were down double digits. But that is what happened. So I want to look at what's happening over the weekend and see if there's opportunity on Monday in one direction or the other. So I'm going to start on the one-day chart just because I want to talk about the big picture, because I did say late last week, I did say that I do think this was the end of the relief rally. So we had about a 7 or 8 week relief rally. It was phenomenal. If I measure it from the bottom on June 17th to the top on August 14th, so that's just under 2 months, it was over 43% relief rally, almost 44% from low to the high. So very, very strong rally. And I hope everybody made money along that giant relief rally. But on this channel, we have been talking in specific about the fact that I believe this was a relief rally that was going to be nice, but it was going to end. So I did call for the end of this on Thursday of last week. Now, we've had some good price action over the weekend, so I want to see what that means. And I put 4 potential price targets. One, a very optimistic price target, and then a couple more that I think are much more realistic. So we could end up getting our best case scenario here. So let's take a look. I'm going to move to the lower time frames right after this. I just want to look at the big picture and show you what my price targets were, since I think this relief rally is over and we're going to hit some lower points. However, I did say I do think the bear market is over as well. So what does that mean? Well, the relief rally's over and the bear market's over. I think we're in the bottoming out process. So in my personal opinion, back on June 18th, this 17,500-ish, I think that was the low for this bear market cycle. However, we have not flipped bullish. We had a very nice relief rally, but there's a period of time in the middle where you're going sideways, you're finding your support, you're consolidating, and so for me, I think that's what's happening right now. We're finding the bottom, and then I do think we're actually going to be in a bullish cycle or a bull phase before the end of the year in 2022. So I guess that's getting ahead of ourselves for now. Let's see what's immediately next. So the price targets that I set, first there was a blue line right here. I said this was probably very optimistic price target. So that was at 20,700-ish. Now it looks like that's what happened. However, I don't think that's going to be the way this all plays out by the time we're done. So if you look at the chart, this is the daily chart. We've now had 2 green candles in a row. We pretty much hit this line right here and bounced up. But I think all we did here was find support for a little bit while we moved out of this very oversold position on the shorter time frame. So I think this is going to end up being a fake out. I do still think we're going to head more towards the other few price targets that I had in mind. The next one of which was just under 20,000. That was the high from the previous bull market back in 2017. So that was just under 20,000. So somewhere in that neighborhood. Also, 20,000 is a very psychological point of support. So, and now there's a green line here at around just over 19,000. So that to me has some much stronger support. So I think that one is also quite likely that we could get down to. I do have a red line down here back at around 17,500. That was our previous low. We were just there 2 months ago, so it's certainly not impossible that we will revisit our low. That is very frequently a part of finding the bottom. For me personally, I will be selling into any rally that might happen on Monday if this holds up and lasts through Monday, which it could. should. So again, that's not financial advice. That's what I'm going to be doing. This could be the bottom for all I know, and it's up from here. But for me, I'm going to be selling into this. And let's go take a look at some of the smaller time frames, and I'll show you why I think that. Okay, so here's Bitcoin on a 15-minute time frame. You'll see, as always, there's an orange line where we closed the market on Friday, the equity market. So Bitcoin was at 21,323 when we closed the equity markets on Friday in the US. So since then, you'll see two times, once Friday night and once Saturday night, we got very close to testing this blue line. So as you zoom into the 15-minute time frame, you'll see we really didn't quite get there, but we basically bounced off of that line of support twice. We were so oversold on the short-term time frames that I did think we would have a little bit of a reset. But again, that was a 1 to 2 day thing, and what we talked about on Friday is that's probably going to happen over the weekend, and we're going to miss that. Well, there's a chance maybe we'll get to sell into that on Monday. Again, not financial advice. That's what I'll be doing. You guys have to decide how you want to play this. We were up around 75 on the RSI, which is very overbought territory. So that was not the peak. Oftentimes, once you get to overbought or oversold, that exact day is not the peak or the bottom. Sometime within the next week, you'll find that that Bitcoin will make its move, and it will either hit its bottom or hit its peak and reverse course. So, okay, so you'll see since we hit that high on August 8th, we've had a series of lower highs. So I've created a line, basically a line of resistance here. This is why I thought we might have had a little upward pressure over the weekend. You can see we did get all the way down to just about 12 on the 2-hour RSI. So that's about as low as we get. You can see all the way back to the very beginning of this rally. That is the last time we hit 12 was over 2 months ago on June 13th. If we can start closing candles above this line of resistance and start heading up towards overbought again, then maybe this really was the bottom. I think that is overly optimistic. I think we're following this pattern. We did get up to like 51 or 52. That's basically a total reset, allowing the selling pressure to build back up from neutral. And then I think we take another leg down. So if all goes to plan, on the 2-hour RSI, we would get back to oversold, but maybe not this far back. And in that time is when maybe we can hit our bottom, which is one of the next two price targets for Bitcoin, and then start to turn around from there. So that's my thesis. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to look at the 4-hour time frame because I think it confirms the same thing. I've got to go all the way back to June 13th. That was the same day as the 2-hour RSI, and we got to an oversold position of about 12.5 on the 4-hour RSI. So once again, that was the bottom for the RSI, but it was not the bottom for Bitcoin. Bitcoin did pull back from about 21,000 to around 17,500 over the course of the next 1 week. This reached a high of about 40, and then that reset and the selling pressure began again, but we did set a higher low, and that marked the bottom for Bitcoin in my opinion. So this time we got more like down to 13.5 or 14, so just a little bit, not quite as low as last time. Last time was 12.5, but again, extremely oversold on the 4-hour RSI. And now we've pulled all the way back up to 37, so I'm looking to do something like this, where we pull back maybe to 40 or the mid 40s on the 4-hour RSI, and then we turn around, and that allows the selling pressure to build back up again, and we get the next leg down. Obviously, I got this line here. This is a line of resistance, so we peaked here on August 8th. So just like the bottom, we peaked on the RSI about a week before we hit our actual top. So that's when we started to hit our series of lower highs, and that was our signal that despite the fact that we were getting a little bit higher on the price of Bitcoin itself, that this rally was running out of steam. This was a very classic pattern, and it played out exactly like the technicals thought it would play out. So this doesn't always happen. Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. So this has been fairly predictable, but it could change at any time. You guys know that even just one Elon Musk tweet in the past has drastically reversed the course of Bitcoin. So we are still very early stages, so we're subject to that. However, with the lack of any other bigger news changing things, the technicals seem to be playing out pretty well right now. So if we look at the 4-hour MACD, we did have a bullish cross at around midnight. So if you look at the histogram, I've drawn a yellow line here. So somewhere at around 116 on the histogram. That goes back to July 29th. So, that's about 3.5 weeks ago. So since then, that is when we really lost our bullish momentum, and you'll see anytime we had a bullish crossover, the activity on the histogram has been under this line. So we have not managed to build momentum really in either direction on the histogram. We've been very sideways. Now, we did get a little bit lower to the downside. We got to negative 250, and we have not been that low since all the way back in June before this rally started. So again, to me, that's another signal we're outside of the range that we were in. So what I'm going to be looking for over the weekend and tomorrow is, can we get above this line on the histogram? But this is more of a guideline. So more importantly, does this bullish crossover run out of steam, and do we start to head back down towards another bearish crossover? And then obviously, do we stay under this line of resistance here? So we have room to reset all the way up to 50 and still stay under this line. I don't think we're going to get all the way back up to 50, but that could happen. And again, if this is the bottom, if this was our best case scenario, then we could break out of this line. And if we break out of this line to the upside, then I would say that we just had the shortest bear cycle ever, and we're back on the move again. But I don't think that's what's happening. Here's why I think we have not hit our lows yet. You can see the daily RSI got all the way down to around 20 the last time around. So to me, this was not a full reset. We got to around 33. So is it possible we head back up from there? Absolutely. But for the daily RSI to get a reset, it really needs to get under 30. And you can see it does get as low as 20. So we may go up a little before we go down. That's what I think is going to happen. So I'm still keeping my same price targets. I think there's some support somewhere just under 20, and then again somewhere just over 19. And my lowest case scenario is that we would bounce all the way back down and revisit our lows from June, which was around 17,500. Okay, so we're in limbo. So we'll definitely have an update tomorrow and see where this went. We'll keep close track of this. So that's all I've got for you for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, please remember to subscribe and smash the like button. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.